Susan here. Welcome back to my kitchen. Tonight I am doing my husband a solid and honoring his request for Father's Day to have a cheese souffle with a side of bacon. We are going to do this in a few steps. The first step is to make a cheese sauce, and not to worry, the full recipe will be in the description box, so just enjoy the video and watch what's happening so you can see how to do this. Now, there are some optional things in this recipe which I will be omitting, but I will put them in the recipe in case you want to try that. So we start off with 3 tablespoons of butter in the pot here, and it's on medium-low heat. It's already starting to melt. So that's the first step, is to get the butter melted. And then we are going to make a roux. That is a French term, cooking term, and all it means is you add flour to the butter and make like a paste, and then add your liquid, your milk, slowly, and whisk that in order to make a sauce. We're making a cheese sauce, but the first thing we do is make the base, the sauce. So that's pretty much melted now. Didn't take very long at all. To that 3 tablespoons of melted butter, we add 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and whisk that in. Like so. There we go. Now, that gets pretty sticky really fast. So what we need to do now is add 1 cup of milk. I'm using 2% because that's what we use in this house, but choose your poison. If you choose to use another version of milk, that's fine. You may find you may have to increase the flour a little bit if you use something like skim milk, which doesn't have the amount of body that a 2% or homo milk would have. But you'll know that when you get to that point. So we slowly add in the milk and keep cooking this for 2 minutes until it thickens, stirring it constantly. Again, cook over medium-low heat. And there we go. So now we're waiting for this to thicken a little to give us our base. Okay, it's starting to thicken now. That's why I moved to a spatula, because it's well blended. We just have to keep it moving and thicken it. Okay, now at this stage, we're now going to add 2.5 cups of coarsely grated cheese. Now the recipe says old or extra old cheese. We use marble, so again, your preference. But you add the cheese to the sauce base here. This makes a cheese sauce. And our objective now is to melt the cheese into the sauce. There we go. Not to worry, I did wash my hands before I started cooking. Keep stirring so that it doesn't burn. until the cheese melts in and is well incorporated into the sauce. This is stage one. Okay, to this cheese sauce mixture, we are going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Goes fairly quickly once you get things moving. This is the cheese sauce part, and then we'll get on to the eggs. The yolks of the eggs we're going to add to the cheese sauce once it's cooled a bit, otherwise the egg yolks will cook, and you don't want that. You want it to add in properly and then cook when it's in a souffle. Okay, I think that's pretty much got it. It's pretty well even color and everything, so we're going to shut that burner off now and set the cheese sauce aside off the burner, and we're going to go to the counter now and deal with the egg part. Okay, I've moved us over here to the counter now. I am going to take my mixer bowl out of the fridge where I've been chilling it, because eggs whip up faster in cold conditions. So for the egg whites, I need this to be refrigerated. Now what we're going to do is take 5 eggs and divide them. The yolks are going to go in this bowl and the whites are going to go in here. They add at different stages, so there we go. There's one. Two. If you add a little bit of white in there, that's not too bad, as long as the majority goes in this bowl. Now they do have contraptions you can buy that you pour the egg into and it helps grab the yolk out of the center. I do it the old-fashioned way. That's 3. Okay. There's 4. Almost done. One more. There's 5. Alright, we've got our eggs in there. Now, we're going to put the egg whites on the stand mixer. I'll start that in a second, but first we're going to beat the egg yolks. Beat the egg yolks well. And we're going to add that to the cheese sauce, which has cooled a bit just by sitting off the burner. Now that's cool enough to add the yolks to without them cooking, which is what we wanted to avoid. Okay. And there we have it. Now we have the yolks in the cheese sauce mixture, and you just stir that until it's well incorporated. Alright, and set that aside. Once again, now we're going to go over here to the stand mixer, and we are going to beat the egg whites until stiff but not dry, and then we're going to fold them gently into the cheese mixture and pour it into a 2-quart souffle dish or casserole with straight sides. So let's get this going. I will tone it down so that you're not overwhelmed with the sound. Okay, now as you can see, the egg whites are forming stiff peaks, but it is still very moist looking, so they're not dry. So that is the stage where we want it to be. Now, because you've been whipping air in here, you have to treat egg whites very fragile. So the next step is back over here to this bowl, where we're going to put the cheese sauce for the mixing, because you add the egg whites to the cheese sauce instead of vice versa. Okay, so there we go.
I don't have a part number for that.
Just put all the cheese sauce in here, and then we add the egg whites to the cheese sauce. Now, what I do is simply add a dollop, maybe that much, and then fold it in so as not to deflate the egg whites too much. You just want to mix it in like so. Add some more. I'm trying to do this fairly quickly so that it gets it into the oven as quick as possible, so the air temperature doesn't deflate the egg whites either. By the way, it is true what they say about being quiet when there's a souffle baking in the oven. They can fall, okay? Not to worry if they do fall. You can still eat it. It's still good. It just doesn't look right. Okay. There we go. That's the egg whites. Just scoop down. twist it around just to get them mixed in properly. Okay, that's pretty much it, guys. As I said, there were other ingredients that we don't use. One is cayenne pepper. I can't do spice. And the other one is Worcestershire sauce. And we prefer it without that. So, okay, so now I have a 2.5 quart casserole dish. It said 2 quarts, but that's all I got is 2.5. And all we do is place this mixture into the casserole dish. Keep stirring a little bit as you add it, as you find other things not mixed in properly. Alright. Cheesy goodness. Right. Like so. And there we go. Just make sure it meets the edges all the way around. Kind of keep it evenly distributed so that it cooks evenly. Now, the other trick with a souffle is giving it an edge. The edge will help it crack in the right place so that it looks better, and I don't know, it just evens it out, okay? So what I do is I take a large spoon and I just run it about 1 inch from the edge all the way around the outline to give it a little bit of a groove there to break along. Okay? Now, this goes into a preheated 300-degree oven, and it cooks for about 1 hour and 5 minutes. Now, as always with my recipes, watch your oven. Ovens bake differently at different temperatures, different places in the world. You know how your oven bakes best, but when trying out a recipe, never treat the timing as hard and fast rule. Always watch your food cooking. Now, 1 hour and 5 minutes is generally what it takes. I will be back as soon as this is out of the oven, and I'll let you know how long it took me to cook this. While it's cooking, I will prepare the bacon as a side, and we'll be right back when this is ready to serve. Instant for you. Okay guys, it is out of the oven now. It took me 55 minutes to bake this at 300 degrees. And so yeah, that 1 hour and 5 minutes is not a hard and fast thing. As you can see where I dug that groove with the spoon, it broke right there and lifted the top middle part. This is the kind of coloring you're looking for, and it is firm to the touch, like not solid. It is a souffle, but it's firm to the touch. It's not going to sink in. Take a knife, put it in, comes out clean. It is done. Same on the other side. I'm not going to cut into the top until I'm ready to serve it. But I also have everything ready, so let us just serve it, okay? Now this makes, it says 4 servings. It depends on your appetite. As I said, it is rich. There's a lot of eggs and cheese and really good stuff in there. So choose what your appetite is ready for, of course. But let's serve some up so you can see the kind of consistency inside. It's very light and fluffy. Let's just move that sideways so I can continue cutting. I'm gonna go about here. Can always come back for seconds. And this will keep in the fridge a little bit to reheat later. Wow. First slice is always difficult to get out. But you can see the fluffiness on that. I usually take the first slice because it's, yeah, not the best presentation wise. But you can see the consistency. It is very light and delicate, airy. It is cooked through. It is gorgeous color. Like so. Carefully. Now that is a fancy meal that is so easy to do, as you saw. And you can serve it with a small side. We are using bacon as a side for ours tonight. But you could also use maybe a salad. Something light and small because this is rich. But I thank you so much for watching. And give it a try yourself and leave me a comment below on whether you liked it as much as we do. And whether you chose to use the ingredients I omitted. But they're in the recipe to try if you'd like. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.